focusing a lot of my classes on the different chakras in the body, the different energy centers. And so with yoga lattes, it lends itself absolutely perfectly to the solar plexus chakra. And so this is representative of the fire that we have within ourselves, that urge, that passion, that need to go and have goals and accomplish good things in our life. And so that's what the solar plexus chakra represents. The fun thing is that when we work with the chakras physically, so like when we do core work, when we do strong things like that, it helps the energy of the body, so it helps the chakra. And also when we work on the chakras, it helps the physical body. So it goes both ways, and it's pretty cool. But there's going to be a couple of different ways that we're working with the chakras today. And so first and foremost, we're obviously working all sorts of areas around the core, the powerhouse, including the back. Oftentimes we don't include the back muscles in the core, but we strengthen that as well, so we're not just tight with the abs. And then we're also going to include the breath of fire a few times as we're traveling through the class. The breath of fire is one where you can feel the diaphragm working to really contract, push the air out. And so as we're getting started, I'd like to practice our first round of breath of fire here so that we have just a little bit of experience, so that later on we can start adding it to a couple of the different strengthening poses that we'll be doing. And so with the breath of fire, we start by taking a normal inhale. We exhale all of the air out. And from that air being out, we begin to pulse the diaphragm. So when we push the belly in, that forces more air out. We don't actually focus on an inhale at all. Rather, when we relax the diaphragm, some air just naturally fills into the lungs. And so then that's what we pulse out again. So it's a pulse, pulse, pulse. It looks like this. You inhale through the nose, you exhale through the nose, and you pulse. And so we're going to practice 50 rounds of those. Know that at any point in time when we do this in our class today, if you start to get lightheaded, just go slower. It's okay if I'm doing my 50 fast and you just do however many you do within that 50 time frame that I'm doing it. And so we'll practice just one round of it and just notice how the body feels right now. And then we'll take a moment to pause and notice how the body feels afterward. And so we'll inhale, exhale completely, and begin to pulse. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, completely hold with air for a moment. Inhale, completely hold with air. And then return back to the normal natural breath with air, because that helps our blood to go back to a normal place where we won't feel immediately lightheaded. So that's our breath of fire. We'll include that a few times. Now, as we come to lay down onto our backs, take that moment that I promised to scan through the body and just notice already if energetically you feel slightly shifted because of that breath. Our solar plexus chakra is known as the fire of our body. And so as we're helping to fuel the fire, we're helping with the digestive fires of our body. We're helping with our metabolism. Okay, take 2 or 3 more just relaxing breaths laying here on the ground. And then we'll begin our first exercise today. We're going to bring the knees into the chest and then extend the legs up to the sky. And from here, we lower the legs. You choose the angle, but pay attention to the low back. You don't want to lower so much that you're starting to arch the low back. So you're really engaging the core to keep the low back flat on the ground. and lowering maybe to 45-degree angle, maybe slightly more. You just listen to your core for what you can handle. From here, we lift up our head, neck, and shoulders. The hands hover at our sides, and we do Pilates 100. So what we do is pump the arms, 5 for the inhale, and then 5 pumps for the exhale. So when you're ready, we'll begin. Inhale, 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 exhale, 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 exhale. 2 more rounds. Exhale, 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 exhale. Hug the knees into the chest, rest the head down. And just let the knees do a few little hip circles. So in movements like that, when the head is up, if the neck gets tired, you can always rest it down partway in between. Also know always you can take breaks in the Yoga Pilates classes. Sometimes our core has not built up quite enough strength to do it without breaks. So take the time, be patient with your body, whatever you need to do to be working good for you. Okay. With our next one, the left leg slides long to the ground, and then the right leg just takes a moment to stretch upward to the sky. So hands can be on the back side of the leg, wherever a comfortable grip is. And we're just working here for a moment with the stretch. In the Yoga Pilates, we're doing the Pilates movements, but we also take stretches in between. So that way it helps to lengthen the muscles, not just make them stronger. By this point, if the leg's willing to go a little bit closer to your body, walk your hands up just a little bit higher, pull it in, just a really deep stretch, another 3 breaths or so. And then dropping the hands down, this leg is going to go for 5 leg circles to one direction and then 5 to the other. The first direction with our inhale, swing to the midline and down, and then wide and up. 4, 3, 2, 1. And reverse it. So going wide with your inhale, swing down, inhale, so outward inhale, down, up, exhale. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Hands join back onto the leg, giving it another moment to stretch out. Leg all the way down. Second leg comes up to the sky. Give it that chance to start stretching out as well. Lots of patience. A little bit higher up the leg. Okay, dropping the hands down, the muscles of the leg take over. And we begin 5 cycles to each. So first going inward. So in, down, exhale, up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse the circle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands join back up, walking up the leg, another moment to stretch it out. Okay, dropping the leg down to the earth, we take almost a movement. And so this one, our legs will be lifting up. Some people can lift legs all the way up, just to this point where the hips are on the ground and the legs are at about this 90-degree angle. Some people can continue to go to lift their hips up and the toes touch the ground above the head or almost there. So you're gonna have to choose what level of difficulty your core is able to maintain for several cycles here. And so what we do is we choose an angle to start with where that low back is on the ground. At this point, I usually tuck my thumbs right under the hips to make sure that the hips have a little bit of tuck under. That just helps with the low back staying very flat. And so I choose that angle to start with. My legs are together as I come up either to the 90-degree angle or all the way up and over to the ground behind my head. As soon as I get to my far spot, the legs go wide, I flex my feet, and I slowly, with control, roll back down to the starting angle. As soon as I'm at that starting angle, point the feet, the legs come together, and we travel back. And so we're going to do 5 of those, and then I'll explain, we'll change it up after 5 just a little bit. So pick your starting angle, make sure the low back's flat on the ground at the starting spot. Legs are together. Take an inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, separate the feet. Flex the feet, start. Going for 4. Flex, roll back down. 3. 2. And 1. Now we reverse. So we start with lift up, bring the legs, flex the feet, roll back down to that starting angle. Again, legs wide, lift up, legs together, flex, and down. 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Again, take the knees into the chest, bring a hand onto each knee, do a few little circles. From here, the feet will plant close to the glutes, and we're going to take bridge pose. So hands rest on the floor next to the hips. With my inhale, I scoop the tailbone up, I lift up the hips, and I rise up to this flat angle from shoulders to knees. Exhale, roll down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Repeating 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. and 1. When the hips rest down, leave the left foot planted. Right leg stretches up to the sky. Give it another chance to stretch through that hamstring without lifting this left hip off the ground. Dropping the hands back onto the floor, leave the leg up to the sky. From this position, we lift up like a bridge pose and back down. So we're ready, rising up and exhale down. 4, 3. Take this right ankle up onto left thigh. We give the hip a little stretch. So hands thread around the left thigh or the left shin, whichever your hand can reach. Clasp your hands, pull it in for a nice little stretch. Okay, from here, right foot drops down, left leg goes up to the sky. Grab onto the hamstring, pull it in for a moment. Try to make sure hips don't lift off the ground. When hands go back onto the floor, 5 times we lift up to bridge from this leg lifting. So when you're ready, inhale 5, exhale down. 4. This one helps you really feel the glute working. 3. 2. And 1. Good. Angle to the right thigh and hug around the right side. As we start to release, we bring both of our legs to a nice 90-degree angle. The knees are over the hips, and then the shins just shoot straight out from the knees. So forming that. And we're going to take a moment to be the obliques. So we tilt the knees halfway down to one side. That's an inhale. Exhale brings the hips back to the earth. Inhale, tilting to the other side. Exhale brings them back. So it's less about just momentum swinging back and forth. It's about feeling that exhale contract to bring it all back to the center. So let's take a few more with this. This is the easiest version. And then we'll add some options to make it harder. Go twice more to each angle. Okay, the next time you tilt off to the first side, 3 times the legs extend and bend. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. Go back through the center. The toes are kind of tracing a rainbow. And then when you're off to the second side, extend and bend. 2, 1. Good. First side, let's take 5 more rounds to each direction. 3, 2, 1. Other side. 3, 2, 1. 4 more rounds. Three, two, and one. Good. To take a little break, bring both knees over to the left. Just rest them on the ground for a nice twist. Try to keep the right shoulder grounded, gaze over the right side. When the knees come back up, they tilt over to the other side, over to the right, and our gaze and our focus goes over that left side. Okay, when hips go back down to the earth, just like I promised, we're going to add some poses to our breath of fire. So this is our first one here. Extend the legs back upward to the sky, and then choose an angle that you can maintain that breath of fire at. So maybe you're literally just going 3 or 4 inches below the 90-degree lift. Maybe you're going about halfway down. That'll be a much more difficult. Make sure low back is pressing into the earth, and then we'll begin our breath of fire. Take an inhale, exhale completely. Begin the pulses. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale completely, hold without air. We're almost there. Inhale completely, hold with air. Good. Bend the knees into the chest as you return back to your normal natural breath. With one hand on each knee, let both knees trace in circles away from one another. Okay, from here we're ready to start adding in some combinations, some adding of poses back to back on top of one another. Our body's starting to feel warm. And so the first one that we'll do here is placing the hands around the right knee. So the left hand goes closer to the knee, the right hand goes closer to the shin. The left leg finds a nice angle to hover above the ground. This is one where you can keep the head, neck, and shoulders lifted, or you can keep it relaxed if it starts to get tired. Like this right hand twice, pulse, pulse, switch, pulse, pulse. 9, 7, 2 exhales with each time the knee comes in. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both knees come into the chest. We curl the head in toward the knees. And then exhale, the legs go toward the bottom of the mat, the arms go toward the top of the mat, and circle right around to that ball. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. From here, the head can rest back down. Right leg goes up to the sky. Left leg hovers above the ground. Anytime a leg comes up, we do an exhale and 2 tugs in. And then slow, controlled switch. 2 tugs in. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Good. From here, both legs go up to the sky. Hands open up to each direction. And both legs open out wide. You imagine you have a resistance band. You're creating your own resistance. And then both legs squeeze together so that you don't slam the rubber band together. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Open the legs up one more time. Leave it there. Arms reach up overhead. Inhale. Exhale. Lift up the arms. Lift up the shoulders. Reach through the legs. Inhale back. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Legs come back up together. One more exercise. We bend the left knee, the right leg extend out to an angle. Fingertips are right behind the ears. Twist the right elbow toward the left knee. And you're toward that far left elbow. So really trying to lift the shoulders and twist to that side. Slow switch. Left elbow to right knee. And 9. 8. 7. By this point, if you're tired, increase the angle to be upright instead. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Good work. Let the legs go long to the ground and the arms stretch up overhead. At this moment, we are allowed to arch the back and feel how that arch helps to stretch through the abdominal muscles. We'll take a moment with a shape like a banana. So everything's going to be like a banana over to the right side. We take the left ankle, cross it over the right ankle, and then the legs go over toward the right side. Right up overhead, hold on to the left wrist, and then the shoulders go off to the right side. Make sure both shoulders and both hips are on the ground, they're not lifted, and feel that deep, long side body stretch. Okay, returning back to the center of the mat. We'll switch sides, right ankle up overhead, hold on to right wrist, shoulders to the left. Okay, back onto the mat. So this next one is called teasers. Teasers are notoriously difficult. So if you can't do the full thing, don't even stress about it. You'll just, if you can't do the full thing, plant the feet, and you'll do crunches up and down, building those rectus abdominals from where you're at. We'll start on the ground, the arms up overhead with a huge inhale. Everything rises up to a boat pose, and then slow lower back down. Okay, so take an inhale, exhale, rise up. Here's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Take a little breath. Just relaxing on the air. The next one I'll take is rocks. And so we roll all the way to reach and stretch over the toes. And we do slow controlled rise back, lower back down. Remember that this is not about momentum, about throwing your arms up to get up. As much as you possibly can, try to go slowly so that you're making each and every muscle group have to be engaged for this work to happen. If you can't get all the way up, you get stuck, bend the knees and grab onto the thighs, using that to help you rise. Let's go for 4 more of those. 4, 3, 2, and okay, from here we're taking our next round of the breath of fire, and we're doing this from a boat pose. You can choose your boat pose. You can even go back and forth between different shapes up if it starts to get too hard. So the easiest version is grabbing behind the thighs and just trying to get the shins parallel to the ground. If that's even too much, toes can even be on the ground, trying to just balance there. So this is the first version. The second version would be trying to take away the hands. And the third version would be trying to straighten the legs. And so try to find the boat pose that you can control for 50 more cycles of that breath fire. So when you're ready, start to get that shape. The spine is trying to stay tall as much as we have that strength for. And so from here, take an inhale. Exhale completely. Begin. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale completely. Hold without air. Inhale completely. Hold with air. Coming to cobbler pose. Return back to normal, natural breath. Try to release your weight up and over the legs as the bottoms of the feet are coming to touch together. Okay, as we start to rise back up, we're planting our fingertips behind us, long arms. We're keeping the spine very straight. And then from here, we try to find the legs either straight or bent, if that's the version you need to do. Whichever version we're doing, we're lowering the legs down a little bit and exhale, raise them up. So straight or bent knees. So when you're ready, 10, exhale up. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the right leg go long onto the ground. Plant this left foot much closer inward. And we'll take a twist. The right hand either grabs around that leg or the elbow comes to the outside of the leg. Either way, posture lifts up tall and we begin to rotate the spine into a nice twist looking behind us. We're getting closer to the end. You'll notice the closer we get to the end, the more stretches we include until eventually the last few minutes are just straight stretches from all the work we did. Allow this left knee to fall down. The foot is still connected up to the inner thigh. Inhale, circle the arms up to the sky, straightening the spine. Exhale, keep the spine straight for as long as you can when you go forward. Okay, inhale back up, straighten this left leg. Right leg plants inward. We take the twist, left hand either grabs or left elbow winds around, hoping to take that beautiful twist. Gaze over to the space behind you. Turning forward, this thigh falls down, the right foot is up to the left inner thigh. Inhale, circle up to the sky, straight spine. Exhale, forward fold. Okay, as we rise back up, extend both legs out in front of you like a staff pose. The legs are trying to be straight. Unless you can't sit up tall, then the knees can be a little bent. The posture either way is absolutely stacked. The arms open out to left and right. And from here, with any inhale, we twist as far as we can off to one side. So I'm starting off to the left. And then the exhale brings us back. It's not about momentum again. This is about however much the muscles themselves are willing to contract to bring us to either direction. So taking the second side, inhale. Exhale, return. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Beautiful. Planting the left foot, the right leg, the inner thighs come right up to be glued to one another, and the right leg is straight. From here, we imagine an imaginary rope connecting up to the toes, and we walk our hands down this rope until we're on our back, and then climb up this rope. We're going to try to go for that 5 times on this side and then 5 times on the second side. So grabbing onto this rope, set up your position. Right leg is the one that is extending, and travel your arms down. Walk back up the rope. 4, 3, 2. Last one on this side. Good. Take a moment, planting both feet, clasp the hands around the knees. The heart goes forward, head relaxing back. One. Both feet, clasp the hands around knees, and then this time purposely round backward, trying to stretch that spot right in between shoulder blades. Slowly straighten back up, swing your legs around. We'll come down onto our bellies, and we're taking a superwoman shape. So arms are up overhead, the legs are long behind us. 10 times with an inhale, we'll lift our arms and legs up as high as we can, and exhale, lower down. So when you're ready, take your first inhale. 10, 9, 8, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again. Okay, I think I'm still here. Okay, so just come down into a nice child pose. Set the hip back, stretch the arms forward. And then rising up, this is going to be our last strengthening exercise for the day, and then we'll just do this little stretch to wrap ourselves up. And so this last strengthening exercise is plank position with, you might guess, our last round of the breath of fire. And so when you take your plank position, you're absolutely welcome to do a kneeling plank, or you can do a full plank. It's whichever one you can maintain for that 50 cycles of the breath of fire. So come into your positions, up or down, trying to get more or less a straight line from heels to shoulders, knowing that it's slightly better to be going up rather than just collapse down like a shoulder area. So taking your position, take a good inhale, exhale completely, and pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale completely, hold without air. We're here a little bit longer. Inhale completely, hold with air. Good. Drop the knees down. And from here, let's step up to a nice downward facing dog. So tuck the toes, lift the hips, legs out, giving the hamstrings a nice chance to move. The right leg is going to float up to the sky. Feel that nice stretch. And then step that right foot in between the hands, dropping the back knee down. You're keeping one hand surrounding each hip and trying to push the hips forward to get a really nice stretch for that psoas. All sorts of the leg lifting movements that we did today, that type of stuff works the psoas. Okay, scooting the hips over this back knee. The front leg goes very straight. And then we plant our hands down on each side, stretching through the hamstring. Take this leg back and then rise up to the downward facing dog again. Left leg floats up to the sky this time. Step that left foot in between the hands, drop onto the back knee, and then sink the hips forward. Just try to make sure knee does not go past toes. Taking this leg back, let's enjoy one more downward facing dog. Any sorts of movements and pedaling out is welcome. Up and over, trying to keep the shoulders stacked. Make sure all the toes are pointing up to the sky. Stack up. Left hand or the left elbow. elbows, circle, earth, and earth. And rising back up, hands in front of you. And just once we're there, we're going to take one more twist. Twists again are helpful for helping to clear out that solar plexus area. So right knee comes into the chest, left hand takes over the knee and twist the knee to the left. Make sure you don't lift the right shoulder off the ground, rather keep that very connected to the earth. When the hips go back down, slide this right leg long. Left knee comes into the chest. And right hand introduces it to the twist to the right. And as you return the hip back down, we're going to slide both legs long. And then your goals. Basically feeling that fueling the fire with us. The fire needs oxygen, and so keep it going. The next few minutes will be here just resting. Begin to deepen the inhales and the exhales. Introducing little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. Eventually rolling over to a nice fetal position on one side. Enjoying maybe 3 or 4 good deep breaths until you're ready to rise up to a comfortable seated place. And as we rise, we'll join our hands together in front of our heart. And check in with our thighs again, even adding in another huge inhale and a huge exhale. So with this fire, with the solar plexus chakra, with our passion and our goals and our motivation to help lead us forward, let's wrap up this beautiful time that we got to share together with the sound of Om. Inhaling together now. Om. Be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.